The other day, I got my bicycle, put one of my small children on the back, and I went for a ride to the Beaches Boardwalk in downtown Toronto. Now, in any other given era, you would say, yeah, okay, Fury, no big deal. Everyone does that every day. It's not worth mentioning. But it's kind of funny that we are now living in an era where you do something like that and you got to pause. You get a little bit anxious and you hyper scrutinize everything you're doing. Am I actually allowed to do this? Am I breaking a law if I'm on this path or that path? If I suddenly deviate a little bit and I get down onto the sand where there were mounted police officers, cops on horseback, telling people, get off the sand and get back onto the grass. And they go, well, what's the difference between this and that? And the cops were explaining the difference. And if you disobeyed them again, you would be handed a ticket. Now, I did not see anybody get a ticket on my bicycle ride out over the weekend, but people have been getting tickets. $1,000 fines in Toronto for breaking these rules. In Halifax Regional Police, they said that over the weekend they gave dozens of tickets to people in one day. People at closed parks and beaches, they are fined $700 in Halifax. People who get closer than 2 meters are fined $1,000. And groups larger than 5, well, they can be collectively fined $7,500. Obviously, we all support these social distancing measures, almost all of us. A poll by Leger shows that the vast majority of Canadians, 95% of them, support what's going on here. But it's also important that law enforcement be reasonable here in all of this. I saw one picture of a cop ticketing a cyclist. I guess he was being a little irresponsible, came too close to people. But really, 2 ships passing the night pretty quickly like that, a cyclist veering past someone. I didn't see every single little moment of that interaction, but we've got to make sure that we're being fair here, and we've got to make sure that we're not unduly scrutinizing people who just want to get out and get a breath of fresh air. Fining people for having gatherings of 10, 20 people, when we all know by now we should not be doing that, fair enough. Fine those individuals. But if there are people who are, oh, I didn't know I couldn't actually sit on this bench, oh, okay, I wasn't supposed to walk on the sand and so forth, I really hope they are cutting people some slack, because we are all in this together, and regular folks are still just trying to do what they can to get out, get some exercise, get their kids out of the house for at least 1 hour a day. If things start to get petty, that is when people are going to rebel against all of this. We're at a good spot right now. The public supports the government measures. But if we hear stories of fines that are getting a little ridiculous, getting a little petty, that is when public support will erode, which is why it's important that we find a balance in all of this.